And so many times it's happened that, brands that I've worked with or projects I've done were way beyond what I had even imagined for myself. I think as an artist, somebody who's interested in the arts, there's a lot of openness that comes with that. There's a lot of being able to look at things not through the eyes of logic, but beyond logic. When aap khud, you're dagmagaing, you're not clear in your own steps.
Yeah.
The world around you can sense that lack of confidence, and then they're like, oh, you can't do it alone, don't leave your job, don't do this. So I think it has to come from within first, that determination and that will, and the people around you will just push you then. A lot more camaraderie also amongst the women, which was probably not the case earlier. I think that now women are supporting each other more and not pitting against each other or trying to bring each other down. And that sort of environment has definitely helped blossom more businesses. You see so many housewives in the city starting their own businesses from home. I mean, what is more amazing than that? And you see the women around them, their community encouraging them, being their first customers, being their marketing, doing their word of mouth for them. It's so beautiful.
Welcome to Beyond the Screen with Shivi J. And I'm very excited today to have a very special guest, Rhea Mehta, and we are going to get to know each other. Hi Rhea, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing good. So, at the young age of 22, how did you decide to start your own digital marketing firm?
So that was something that culminated over time. It was never the final goal for me, honestly.
Okay.
Growing up, I was one of those children who was very clear what she wanted to do. At the age of 13, I remember I went to the library in school. I read up, okay, so if I want to be an editor in a magazine, I need to study this in my undergrad, this in my master's. It was very clear. And so I think very young age, I knew I wanted to be in media. I would say at that time it was to be an editor. And as the time came, I studied journalism and mass comm in my undergrad. Then I went and did my master's in advertising and PR. And I worked at NDTV. So I started my journey as a journalist, and then I worked in advertising, and I worked in PR, and I realized that this space is really interesting. I love the work. I love how creative this space is. It allows you to have so many different avenues to put together ideas and to help brands grow. But I could not relate to the clients I was working with. So I was working with one of India's biggest PR companies called Ad Factors.
Yeah.
And I had really interesting clients, PwC, Samsung, Honda, like really big brands. But I could not relate to them. I just could not. I mean, I didn't feel for them. And I realized that is what I needed to truly be able to enjoy the work that I do. And that's where the idea of DigiDuck kind of was born. And I remember, so I left without a plan. The head of the company was my mentor, and he was behind my decision. He always encouraged me to push myself and to apply myself. And so I left without a plan, and I started working with 2 clients, which was just organic. And these little kids, they were in college. They reached out to me saying, we'd love to intern with you. We like how you work, and we'd love to work with you. And so then I was like, okay, so if I have a team, then I should have a company. Then if I have a company, I need an office. So it was all very organic and just grew from that little seed of thought that I want to do something for brands that I relate to. And since then, I've had the privilege of working with brands that I truly love and respect and cherish, and have had some sort of part to play in their journey. And I think that was what culminated into DigiDuck for me.
Oh, that's great. So was there a specific moment or a person who influenced you into starting this journey?
I think it's always my mother.
Oh.
It was my mother. She always thought that I should be doing something for myself. She was a businesswoman growing up. I saw her. She ran her own school, and she was that independent matriarch of sorts. Yeah. So I always had that to look up to in my family. My grandmother was also a professor. She was a researcher, an author. And so I think the women around me really encouraged me to not hold back and to dream big. Like, okay, job is great, but you can do so many other things. You don't need to limit yourself. And I think that almost giving me wings, that was required for me to take that plunge at such a young age.
Yeah.
And also, I think the fact that age is on your side.
Yeah.
When you're younger, you can take more risks.
True.
There's not much to lose. I feel like if I were to do that now at this age, I would still think 5 times, okay, is it safe? Is it viable? How is the future? At that age, I was just, don't think too much, just do it. We'll figure it out as we go. And so I think that push from my mother, also the push from the people around me, not just my mother. I think it was a lot of my friends and family really encouraged me. And a lot of the experiences I had working in a marketing company, I think when I was in college, I interned my entire third year as in a marketing firm, which was really close by, really creative people. Just seeing that environment and that creative space and young people working together, and the founder was also a really creative individual. I think that also inspired me to want to build something that could be of my own. Yeah.
So, do you feel that you come from a family where women have been way ahead of their time, has helped shape you who you are today?
Absolutely. I mean, there's no other. I don't think that I would have been this way had it not been for the really remarkable women around me, including my friends. I mean, I see all of my friends are doing amazing things. So I think it's the influence, like they say, you're the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with, and what more than your family? You are a sum of them.
Yeah.
So absolutely, that influence was. You always feel like, how can I be better? Because you've seen such trailblazers around you, that how can I push it more? I mean, I'm in this generation, I should be doing 10 things more than the previous one. And I think that always then keeps you wanting to do more and trying new things. Yeah. Absolutely.
What advice do you have for girls and women who may not have a supportive background, and how can they empower themselves?
I think the first blockage is you yourself.
Yeah.
Forget the environment. You need to first be convinced in your own abilities. And unfortunately, we're brought up questioning ourselves, limiting ourselves. Arey, nahi ho payega. I don't know if I'll manage. Oh, I don't think I'll be able to do it alone. I need somebody with me.
Yeah.
That is our own limiting beliefs. And I think once we overcome that, then that confidence, your loved ones will see it. They'll be like, she'll manage. She'll figure it out.
Yeah.
When aap khud, you're dugmagaing, you're not clear in your own steps.
Yeah.
The world around you can sense that lack of confidence, and then they're like, oh, you can't do it alone. Don't leave your job. Don't do this. So I think it has to come from within first, that determination and that will.
Yeah.
And the people around you will just push you then. And once it's there, once that switch is on in you, then it doesn't matter, truly.
Yeah.
The people around you are there to help you, and they are there to also make sure that you don't take too many risks, just support you. So they're not coming from a place of ill. I always understand. I know so many friends of mine who want to start something of their own, but they're too scared because their parents are, what happens if you lose your job, the business doesn't take off, what are you going to do? So those fears, I understand where the parents are coming from, or the people around them, where they're coming from.
Yeah.
But once you're certain that, no, I'll figure it out, even if I fail, I'll get up and start again. I think that certainty, that is required. So you need to be convinced before you try to convince anyone else.
True.
Yeah.
You come from a family of women way ahead of their times, and how has their influence impacted your business practices and personal growth?
Very interesting question, because I usually hear people asking about their father's thing. And I love that in my family, the women have been very entrepreneurial, and I feel like the men have been very supportive and very artistic and creative. So it's been a different sort of upbringing I've had. So I think the fact that my mother was someone who studied economics, so she came from that background. She studied a lot. She started multiple businesses, so very entrepreneurial. Her and my father, I can't say that he's not. But seeing that kind of independent woman running her own show, calling the shots, running teams, and growing something from scratch, truly from scratch, I think that influence has been, I think it's made me who I am today, and it's inspired me to want to think big and not limit myself in any way. So that sort of influence has even creeped in on our dinner table conversations. It's made sure that if I have any problems with my business or making decisions, I've always had a lovely sounding board of my family, my parents, to take advice from and to run things by, because they have done this so many times before. They've dealt with so much that I get all of that wisdom in my dining table. I mean, there's nothing better than that. I didn't have anybody who I could really, who was supporting me in the business. So having their advice, their just general wisdom, that helped me so much. And the women are the ones in my family that kind of trailblaze that for sure.
Yeah.
So that impacted everything entirely.
Okay, so are there any specific strategies or resources you would recommend to aspiring female entrepreneurs?
Okay. I think for women especially, it is important to have a strong community of fellow women around you. And I think it's a good time to be in business as a woman, because there are lots of these robust communities around us that are thriving and really encouraging and supporting women. So that definitely helps. Second, equip yourself with a lot of knowledge. So as I told you, I come from a more creative background. Before I started my business, I went and did a degree on business management, which I felt was required for me to be able to run the show as well.
Yeah.
To run the numbers, to understand profit and loss, to understand how to grow a business. Again, the creative part is there, but you need to be able to manage the business. So equip yourself with knowledge, equip yourself with a strong community, equip yourself with a mentor. I think that is something that can truly, truly, truly support you in the long term when you have problems and little things that require you to have a more nuanced approach. A mentor comes into play.
Yeah.
And that sort of relationship is so important in your overall growth in life, and to have someone who has been there, done that, and is just wanting to give back.
Yeah.
And that's something that comes from, somebody who's up there.
Yeah.
And only those people are wanting to, kind of give back without getting anything in return. They're not growing any business or anything.
Yeah.
So that sort of a relationship really helps. And I've been lucky in my life to have a couple of mentors who have truly helped as I, went through my journey. And these three things I feel are really, really important. Also health. I mean, it is taken for granted, and it's something that we realize catches up with us. But taking care of your health and your wellness and how you feel from within impacts your outcomes and your work and your work-life balance. All of these aspects come into play.
Yep, absolutely agreed. So, talking about the health and fitness area, I have to admit I have been there. Been there in the past where I was well beyond a certain weight where I was supposed to be. Sometimes there are people who look at me and who say that this is not the same Shivi we know. It's because I worked on myself as well, and I absolutely understand what you're talking about, how it has, the fitness journey has really helped me mentally to you be aware of a lot of things in life, not just in professional but in personal. So I absolutely feel that there is a need about the lifestyle. People need to have that kind of an awakening at some point. If they're not following,
they'll
it's
be
fine.
forced into it. If nothing.
But this is something which has really helped. Yep.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And I think that everyone gets there on their own. But eventually you get there.
And
you realize.
I believe you can feel it, right? The difference once
100%.
you have gotten into the fitness life, and then It's
Yeah.
a lot of people, of course, don't have a lot of time to work out or take out time, but it is just that small time that,
There's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
I've realized that. You make time. Whatever
Yeah.
is important, you find it. You find a way to, what's a priority is a priority. So I treat a workout almost like a meeting. It is defined in my day. It
Yeah.
is not going to change. I will make sure that nothing else is impacted, but I find a way to get it in.
Okay.
And I think you realize that once your outcome is coming, it becomes an addiction, because you realize the day you don't work out, you feel so sluggish, you
I
feel
agree.
low, you feel. I mean, haven't you experienced that yourself?
I
You feel
feel it
so.
completely, because those days now that I don't work out, I feel like something is missing in my life.
Exactly.
Even at work, I feel I'm not as productive as I should be. Yeah.
It takes a toll. It's a domino effect. It impacts so many aspects, and I think for me it was more mental health driven than
Yeah.
physical appearance. It was something that I needed to feel centered and to for, let's say, 1 hour of the day where you're not thinking about work, you're not worried, you're not stressed, you're just focused on yourself. I think that's pure true self-care. That's
Yes, absolutely.
nothing more than that.
It's all about the mental stimulation, and the physical part just
That's
follows.
just, yeah. It's a nice outcome.
Yeah, it's a must-have outcome. Okay. So tell us something about yourself from starting of your journey of your business to where you are today.
I mean, I've told you the beginning. So those two kids, I mean, wherever they are, I call them my little ducklings. They really inspired me to set things up. And from there, it was all organic. It grew without, like, for example, we've never marketed ourselves. I have never felt the need to go advertising for us. So our work has been our portfolio, and from there it's been really fun to expand, to get into new avenues, to get into new industries. And I think it's more selfish on my part, because I love learning new things. So I mean, I tend to get bored doing the same thing again and again every day.
Oh my God.
And this sort of life makes sure that no day is the same.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I could be getting a client that works in petroleum, petrochemical, and I love it because it's got nothing to do with my life or my interests, but I love to read and get to know new things. So I think that sort of novelty is there in my life, and I truly enjoy it. And the journey has been, I mean, we're still on it. It's yet to even fully, and I think I'm excited about the next leg of the journey for sure.
And what were the major challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome them?
I think challenges, lots of challenges, lots in them, and I overcame them thanks to the support I have. Truly, it was all thanks to the people around me, the kind of comfort I got. I knew that problems will come, issues will happen, and I faced them as they came. You fall, you get back up, you cry a bit, but you have to move on and work past it. But yes, I mean, challenges are there for everybody in every industry and every sphere of life. I chose this life, so
Yeah.
I accept all of the challenges wholeheartedly, and I joke about it to people, and I say that my job is to be a problem solver. That's my actual role. So I welcome a problem and a challenge, and I enjoy getting out of it. Yes.
So how has mental health affected your life? For example, career, personal well-being. How has it affected you?
Entirely. It's been the be-all and end-all, and I think when I started my career, I took things lightly. I wasn't as serious about mental health. I was working 15 hours a day, not really paying attention to my social life or a life beyond work. I was not working out. I was just, driven towards one goal, which was building my business. And as it always does, it catches up with you. I had a massive burnout where I realized that this is not going to work. And thankfully, I had My sister, she's a clinical psychologist, so I had some influence at home that made me realize that this is not the healthy way to go about life. And so I had to take a decision, and that's where I kind of started my journey with the gym. That was my outlet to just stop, the madness of work and have that 1 hour to myself. And since that burnout, I've been very careful of making sure that there's good work-life balance. I make time for my friends, I make time for my family, I try not to work on a Sunday, things like that, which were earlier non-existent for me. Every weekends were like a regular weekday for me. I had no boundage of days or time, or working till 3 a.m. was completely normal for me. So those things definitely changed. I set more boundaries with my work. And mental health was something that I still, to this day, I take very seriously now. And I meditate, I do yoga, I work out. And also small things like your passions and your hobbies that you tend to forget as you go into your adult life. I realized that things like singing, I love singing. I've been a singer since I was very young and up till college. So I realized not having that in my life also affected my mental health drastically. And so I've gotten back to those passions and those hobbies that truly fulfilled me. And I feel like my mental health is better for it, my relationships are better for it, my work is better for it. And so, this is probably the most important thing one needs to take care of, and everything else follows. You are, what you're feeling in here is what your life is going to be. You can have everything, yet if you're not happy here, it doesn't matter. So that realization has changed the game for me. Absolutely. As we were discussing, not working out one day is not about how I look or I lose whatever gains, whatever. No, it's more about how I will feel, how centered I feel, how accomplished also you feel. And it's a lot of the release of stress, anxiety, all of those pent up energies that you carry throughout your day. Those things are really important when it comes to mental health.
How is it like being a female entrepreneur in Delhi?
Delhi is my first love and sometimes my enemy. It's like a love-hate relationship, and we all love to bitch and moan about it. But like right now you were bitching about the humidity in Delhi. But I love it. I love the city. I love the history. I love the culture. I love the food. So I think that it's also given me a good platform to grow as a businesswoman, because it's given me that community of people. I see a lot of women around me who are in this space. Delhi is truly a cosmopolitan city, and the culture is the people are warm. I really love that about the people of Delhi. You can go up to someone and talk about work and what their life is like, and they're happy to share, and they're happy to, that warmth that Delhi brings is something that I'm really grateful for in terms of work. And otherwise, other than work, what else? You can't get better food anywhere else in this country.
I absolutely
Delhi
agree.
is where it's at, so which I love. I love trying new places to eat. So I think being in Delhi has helped me also.
So do you think the environment for female entrepreneurs in Delhi has changed over the years?
I think it has. It really has. And I think that there is a lot more camaraderie also amongst the women, which was probably not the case earlier. I think that now women are supporting each other more and not pitting against each other or, trying to bring each other down. And that sort of environment has definitely helped blossom more businesses. You see so many housewives in the city starting their own businesses from home. What is more amazing than that? And you see the women around them, their community encouraging them, being their first customers, being their marketing, doing their word of mouth for them. It's so beautiful. And that is because, there is not this limiting belief that, no, you are a housewife, you cannot, start your own business. Women realize that why not? This woman did it. The owner of Nykaa, she's started her career at the age of 40. She's 50 plus now, and look at what she's built.
Absolutely.
So I think that limiting belief has changed. The community is more encouraging and uplifting, and women are supporting women more. And that, I think, is where it's at.
Yeah.
Truly.
I feel that the female entrepreneur should support in life in general. It's not just about entrepreneurship. I think women should support women more. Usually, I'm so glad to see this narrative is really changing where female are
So true.
supporting their female friends more, and
Yeah.
it's all those
That
kind.
that makes all of the difference,
Yeah.
because they say that the kind of take back that a female friendship can have, it's the best sort of friendship that you can have
Yeah.
out there. It is the most uplifting and it's the most therapeutic form of
Yeah.
friendship and support. So having that, I think, is so important and so crucial. I don't know men have that or not as much as we do.
Yeah. What would be your eventual goal for your business?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many, and they keep evolving as I go. And so I did realize earlier I was that person who'd write a 5-year plan, a 3-year plan, 2-year plan, then a monthly plan. I was one of those planners. And as I went, I was like, screw it. My plans are only limiting myself. I have certain goals that I kind of want to achieve, which are more, personal goals, but professionally, I don't want to set out any sort of blueprint. I don't want anything to be the reason, okay, I will only feel accomplished till I get there. No, I have stopped being that person. And yeah, so I feel like defining a goal has made, in the past, has limited me in the sense that you never know where life takes you. By saying, okay, I will only do these 3 things, then I feel that in my life has limited me. So, and so many times it's happened that, brands that I've worked with or projects I've done were way beyond what I had even imagined for myself. And that was probably the reason why I didn't want to define those goals so specifically, but have more overarching, say, dream brands that I want to work with, or what I call my manifestation boards. I create those a lot, and I truly believe in the power of visualization and manifestation. And I feel that you'll get all of those things. They'll come to you eventually, but you have to have that energy that allows it to come to you. So I think I work more on that rather than have those goals that are written down. It's organic. It'll happen, and much bigger than I even imagined.
I'm a strong believer of law of attraction. Absolutely. I have seen a lot of things shift from how it was, and I'm somebody who literally followed the ABCs of law of attraction, and then it just eventually happened. So I think writing down your goals and the things that we want, the way we want, it's so important and powerful.
So do you journal as well?
Yes, I do. Yeah. But it's been quite some time that I've stopped, but listening to you bring this up again, I have a lot of law of attraction to do.
So I do this funny thing where I write a letter to myself from the future. So let's say 10 years down the line, I talk about all the things I have in my life right now, or the achievements that I've done, and as if it's actually there in existence. And then maybe a year later you go down, you read it, and you realize what you imagine you have 10 years later, you have in less than a year.
You have achieved it already.
Yeah,
and you don't even realize it.
You don't realize it. So that's why I think that don't limit, and that just put it out there in the universe, and believing that you have it is so powerful. You work, that aura that you carry then is a very different aura, because it'll happen.
Yeah,
it's bound to happen.
So I think I should reframe this question. What have you attracted for your business for the next 5 to 10 years?
I think I've attracted a lot of the clients and the kind of space that I would want to have worked with and that I'm truly passionate about. I have attracted that. I have attracted really interesting individuals, creative people that I admire, I enjoy the process of working with. I think that that's something I have definitely manifested, that make the whole process that much more fun. And that partnership, as I call it, it becomes so much more fulfilling. I think I've definitely attracted that in terms of my work. I have attracted a lot of freedom that my setup right now has given me, and that's something that I really enjoy, having a lot of freedom to work from wherever, work with whomever, and really, not be limited in that aspect. So these are some things I feel like I've manifested. They were some subconsciously, some consciously, but yeah, this has all come through visualization and wanting a certain sort of, life, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Who is the gold standard that you idolize? As in, how has this person influenced your approach to business and life?
So I unfortunately don't have a very concrete answer for you for that question, because I feel I've taken little aspects from so many different individuals throughout my life, and there is no one person that I truly idolize. I mean, every person I come across, there's always something that inspires you from them, something you can take back from them. And I realize I am a culmination of all those really interesting people that I've met. So I don't have, one individual, but it's a culmination of so many people.
Do you have any pet peeves in your professional or personal life?
I have, I'm famously known as grammar Nazi.
Oh,
So I have a few pet peeves when it comes to that. And I really enjoy or admire people who also share similar,
So do you
respect for the language.
instantly correct them
I think
if you see a grammar mistake?
so. I've come to realize I don't do that. It's not nice to put someone down, but it pinches you a little initially. But I think the ones I'm close to, I like to poke them like, no, this is not. And a lot of the people around me, they become conscious of it now. So with me, so they get really scared. Oh no, Rhea, I'm like, please don't be scared of me. I just can't help myself. So that's definitely one pet peeve. And I think a lot. I would say. Not respecting somebody else's time or creative input that they've put in. I think that's something in terms of work has been one of my major pet peeves. I see so many people who put down somebody's efforts and creativity and time that they put in, and I think that it's very subjective.
Yeah.
Creativity is subjective. It may be the best that they could do. So you can't be putting someone down and affecting their confidence, making them insecure in some way or the other. So for sure, I don't enjoy that when that happens around me, and I make it a point to not ever do that myself as well. So I think these two are definitely my pet peeves.
All right. So, who are your favorite musicians and artists, and what have you learned from them?
I love this question. I think music has played such an important role in my life, and it will forever. Whatever happens, come and go, but music will always be that for me. I am myself a jazz singer, so
wow.
I really enjoy a lot of the jazz artists that are the classics: Nina Simone, Nora Jones. But I think one person that I could possibly say a fangirl over is John Mayer. I love that man's creative mind, the way he's created music. I really admire that. And then there's a lot of artists that have kind of shaped my interest in music also. So I appreciate so many artists. I mean, it would be a huge list. But like in Indian music, I love Ali Sethi right now. I really enjoy his music at the moment. I really enjoy a lot of the blues plays. Like I really, I like also, like I've gotten into Afro these days. Afro music is something that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really admire. But John Mayer is my holy grail. His mind, his music, his guitar skills, his creativity. He's so witty. So I admire him as an artist, but as an individual, as a creative, also I really respect him.
How does your passion for music influence your work and creativity?
I really like that question. It's definitely interspersed, and it's kind of flown into my workspace also. With music, you need discipline. And to truly pursue music, you need to, as they say, the music is something that you have as a gift, but you also have to work on it. You have to master the craft. So it requires discipline and dedication. And I think that has also, crept into my work in many aspects. The discipline that came from music, practicing every day, making sure you're learning, and also the fluidity. I think as an artist, somebody who's interested in the arts, there's a lot of openness that comes with that. There's a lot of being able to look at things not through the eyes of logic, but beyond logic, and being able to see how things come together, different aspects, like how music, it's not just one thing, it's various sounds and use of even silence for that matter. So I think that these aspects have come into play. They also shape who I am as an individual, because how I can be creative in my work is probably because I have, that creative bent of mind in my hobbies from music. So definitely it does have an impact, and I mean, I realize it as I speak to you that it has probably shaped a lot of the way that I think, the way that I solve problems from music. Yeah, it's really interesting.
How tough is it to manage a lifestyle where you are both a businesswoman and a musician?
It used to be tough initially. I think before, when I wasn't pursuing music, I had this excuse in my mind that I'm too busy, I don't have the time. How can I take out so many hours of my day when I could be doing this or that? But I think over time I realized that what you define as productive changes, and that even 2 hours, let's say, in a week that I spend singing is so productive that it affects the entire week. How I feel, how I solve my problems, how content I feel with myself, because there's this need that you need to, like, itch that you have to scratch, and if it's only by pursuing that you're able to scratch it, and it impacts your entire life. So I found a way to balance it. I make sure, I think for me it's Wednesdays are my music days. In my head I put that sort of define the day for myself, where that's when I'm going to pursue music, may it be writing something, or my music practices happen on Wednesdays. So I try to make a whole day of being dedicated to music some way or the other. And those are like what I call my Sundays are Wednesdays. So I think that sort of structuring your life around it works. You find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Like I said, with workouts, you make sure it's like a meeting. You set it in your timeline. It's a part of your day. You need it, like you have your breakfast, you do your workout. Same for music. I mean, even in terms of listening, I feel like not just creating, even consuming is extremely important for me. So I'll make sure that, for example, I try to listen to my songs. I collect them throughout the day. And when I'm working out in the evenings, I listen to all of the songs that I'm really excited to hear, or my friends have shared with me. I collect them in a playlist. And I love building that throughout the day. So you can also put two things together, what you call club, two positive activities, and make it even more positive in terms of the outcome.
So which is more therapeutic for you, working out or your music?
Ooh, I can't decide. I've tried to club the two, so that's really worked well for me. I can't imagine working out without music. I can't imagine life without music. So I can't answer that.
Okay.
It's like choosing between two babies. It's not possible.
What is it like being a pet parent to your dachshund Duke?
Oh my Lord, it's been a hell of a journey. So Duke's not my first dog.
Oh.
He is my family's sixth dog. We've been notorious for having dachshunds in our, my dad's had so many growing up also. So it's just been, we've been one of those families very passionate about the breed. And Duke was definitely something that, I love dogs. They are, I'm one of those crazy dog ladies you'll see hugging dogs on the road and just like going and collecting food. Like I'm one of those people. You've seen? I'm crazy about them. So I lost my dog that was there before Duke a year before he came. His name was Toto. And that 1 year it was really gut-wrenchingly, heartbreaking. That year was not pleasant, and I realized I missed that energy of having that beautiful soul around me. And it took a year to kind of overcome that grief, and I finally got Duke. And unfortunately, the start was not so pleasant. I had got him and his brother as well, but his brother and him came with a really deadly sickness called parvo. And they struggled for a long time. The brother could not make it, but Duke fought hard. It was a terrible process. He was on IV drip twice a day, and he was just puking, and it was just terrible for him. But he's a fighter, and so he brings that energy. He's a relentless fighter, heat. But I love him to bits, and I think it's the first time in my life that I am a dog mom. Otherwise, they were all my siblings.
Yeah.
He's my son. So it's really lovely, and it makes sure that I have to define my day around him. I have to make sure I'm there for his walks. I don't give it to anyone else, and I keep that responsibility with me. So taking care of him makes sure that I also switch off a bit throughout the day, spend time playing with him, taking him out, trying to make friends for him, because he's not a very friendly dog. So that's been a mission. But it's really therapeutic. It's really, truly a blessing to have that energy in your life. It uplifts you. It really uplifts you like nothing else. It's beautiful.
So we are going to have a rapid fire round where we are going to find out some more about Rhea. And Rhea, are you ready?
I am.
Okay. So favorite cuisine, Italian or Japanese?
Japanese.
Marketing or music? If you had to choose one for a day, what would it be?
For a day music, for life marketing. I love what I do. I can't survive without it.
Okay. Dream travel destination, Paris or Tokyo?
I've been to Paris, so I would say Tokyo, because I really, really want to go there.
Okay. Morning routine, coffee or tea to start your day?
Coffee. Coffee is my everything, no doubt.
Okay. Favorite music genre, classical or jazz?
Jazz.
Ideal weekend, exploring new restaurants or attending a music concert?
A music concert followed by a delicious meal. I mean, that's a perfect evening.
Perfect idea of a perfect evening. Business inspiration, Steve Jobs or Elon Musk?
Elon Musk. I think he's got a lot of dynamic ideas that are quite inspiring.
Okay. Favorite dish, pizza or sushi?
Sushi.
Relaxation time, reading a book or watching a movie?
These days it is watching a movie, but it oscillates. So yes, a movie for now.
Okay. And guilty pleasure, Madagascar ice cream or cheesecake?
Madagascar ice cream is my weakness. It is my kryptonite. It's
Madagascar ice cream it is. Okay.
So Rhea, it was amazing chatting with you. There's so much we have, I think, learned from you when it comes to female entrepreneurship, lifestyle, mental health. I think we have covered it all, and whoever watches this, I think they are going to benefit. I sure benefited a lot from this, personally. Yeah.
I really enjoyed speaking to you as well,
Thank you
off the camera also.
Hope to see you soon.
Absolutely.
I'm feeling like
fourth time, fifth time.
Tell us something.
It's bad for the fifth time you're having to say.
Look into your eye. What is it like being a pet parent? Okay, I need some water. What is it like being a pet parent to your Dachshund Mike? Sorry, Duke.
Who's Mike?
You won't believe I practice this question. So, what is it like being a pet parent to your Dachshund Duke? All right,
Nice.
then.
Oh shit.